Hey gang, old bit collector here. Thought I'd give you another update on the Micromite companion project. This week it's kind of all been about styles. Um, Took a couple days off from the project. Uh, did something kind of silly. Got distracted by the idea of using the Micromite's PWM to generate tones. And of course, the next thing I had to figure out how to do at that point was how to play cell phone tunes like the RTTL format. So there is up on the forums, it's not quite done. I'm almost afraid to open it up again because when I started working on it, I looked at the clock when I started, it was 8 o'clock in the evening. When I looked at the clock again, it was 4 a.m. So anyway, it's up on the propeller powered forums if you want to play with cell phone tunes using the Micromite's PWM output. What I've done is I've just tied it into the propeller's audio circuit to make it work. And my version's not bad. It could use a little bit of help, and I'll probably finish it up and hopefully not spend an entire night when I should be sleeping doing it. But like I said, after I took a couple days off to catch up on my sleep, I started working on styles this week, and styles and modes. Now, it was brought up on the Propeller Powered forums by one of our members that we should be very clear when we show a style that it isn't thought to be a mode. Okay. For instance, some of the work I did this week was on the retro text, which is a Commodore 64 slash Atari style. That does not mean that the Micromite Companion is going to run Commodore 64 programs. The basic is still Basic, which is running on the Micromite. So I want to be very clear about that as we move forward so that people don't get the wrong impression. We're going to do some really cool stuff. This is a modern slash retro mini computer, but it is not a DTV or a Commodore 64 emulator or an Atari emulator. While we adopt many of the styles and the great things about some of the early platforms and kind of pull them in to the project, understand that these are styles that we're adding to the existing Basic. And so I just want to make sure we have that understanding as we go along. So let me reset this thing. This was a little Christmas present that I'm running right now from a friend, which is running actually on the propeller side, but it's a great demonstration of what the video chip or the propeller is capable of doing. So as you can see, we're just barely uncapping some of the ability here, and there's going to be a lot more. So let me hit the reset button on this, and let's get into what I've been working on this week. So one of the things, by the way, we've got a new directory sort color algorithm contributed by one of our forum members this week. Thank you, Roger. But one of the modes that hasn't been getting a lot of attention when we started working on mode 4 was mode 2. And mode 2 is our retro text mode. It's in the style of the Commodore or Atari, and so I felt like we were overdue to give that some attention, so this week it got some love. So let's switch over to that mode. There we are. Now, pardon my camera. I know my camera is showing the screen a bit washed out on the bottom half of the screen. It does not look like that on the real thing. It's a very crisp, clear, solid screen. Just pardon my camera. Know that this looks fabulous on my monitor right now. And so what I'm going to do is run a little program. And this is a little program I wrote just to show the character set that's in the memory of this mode right now. So we've got some typical ASCII uppers, lowers, exclamation points, numbers, etc. What I'm going to do is, while you're watching, I'm going to flip to a shifted PETSCII mode. And I'm going to hit Control 9. And now all of the lowers have become all of the PETSCII characters that were all on the right-hand side of each of the keys. In other words, on the right-hand side of the A, you had the little corner, lower right-hand corner, I believe. Well, the A now is a lower right-hand corner in this mode. I could be wrong. It could be the opposite here, but you get the idea. Now, PETSCII, when you map out PETSCII, it does not map directly to ASCII. Every computer on the planet, for instance, said that the letter A, the capital A, was 65. That's its ASCII code. The capital A is 65, capital B is 66. Commodore did this really weird thing where like A was like 41 or 42 or something like that. So I'm not going to replicate that mess in here. What I'm going to do is I have basically put in all the PETSCII codes using the Commodore keyboard layout as the guide. So if you bring up an image of a Commodore PETSCII keyboard, you're going to have the guide for the characters that you can use. Let me switch the other way. I did both of them, both sets. So I'm going to switch to Control 0 this time. And now all the lowercase characters there. Now I think we're on the right set here. Now we've got the spade and the heart and the diamonds. You'll recognize those. The circles are available. So what you can do in this mode is you can use those characters. Once you shift into that mode, you can use those characters, those lowercase characters, to draw things on the screen. And so if you embed the command into your program to switch modes, and yes, we've got a command for that, an I2 command to switch modes, you can switch the mode and then use the lowercase characters to put your PETSCII graphics up on the screen. The other thing we did too is I thought it would be kind of fun to this is really only just for fun. There's no other useful purpose for this, but if you hit Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, Control 4, Control 5, Control 6, you might recognize this sequence if you're a Commodore user. It will change the character set, character color set on the fly. Really, we just did that for fun. Naturally, you have full control over all the colors and all the background colors in this mode from the I2C commands, but I thought it would be kind of cool if we just kind of did the color change capability on the keyboard like the Commodore and Atari computers did, and I used the exact same sequence of colors. So some fun stuff, but if you enjoy PETSCII and you enjoy creating scenes or games or PETSCII style games, again, we're going to use that word style a little more. We've made it available to the Micromite companion, and so kind of a cool mode. Getting better. So I've got another surprise I just started working on. This is an unfinished style mode, and I'm going to flip to it here. And I've got it assigned to mode 5 right now, so I'm going to hit Control F5. Maybe you weren't an Atari Commodore guy. Maybe you were a little more accustomed when you turned on a computer in the 80s to seeing 7x7 characters. And this is a 7x7 graphics mode. Kind of looks like an Apple II or an Apple IIe mode. So definitely a fun style mode that we're adding to the system. Again, this is not running Apple II software, it's running Basic software, but you can run it in the Apple II style. So if you have a preference or fondness for this look as you're using the Micromite, you can jump over to this mode and use it. So let me show you an example here. I'm going to go back to mode 1, which gives us our disk operating system. And I'm going to load a game, Tic-Tac-Toe Basic. There it goes, got it in memory. I'm going to flip back over to that new Apple style mode and run the program. And this is a simple basic program from Creative Computing. And let's see, if you want to win this game or even think about not losing, you need to be X in this game. And 5, I think, is the best position. For some reason, I'm not usually able to beat the computer, but I can at least not lose. Maybe that's losing anyway, I don't know. So let's see, I want to go to 2, And yeah, it's already going bad here. Things have already gone bad. Um, 6. Yeah, this isn't good. Should have gone the other direction. Might have had a chance. And now I need to go to 7 to block him. And there's only one move left, and that is to not win the game here. So 9. Yeah, it's a draw. So this is. Let me list this program here. You can kind of see it. This is taken right off of the pages of Creative Computing, with very very little changes. I think I added one line here so I could see lowercase x in case you didn't have the caps lock key push. But got a little work to do on this mode. This mode is not done. I'm going to institute the lowercase characters. Right now they are not instituted at all. I also need to tighten it up a little bit. You'll notice some of the things are it has kind of a wide appearance, so we kind of need to tighten it up. But I will eventually make this available on the Propeller Powered forums. And for now it's mode 5, but you can assign this any mode you want. There was a great idea kicked around the forums to increase the modes to 255 modes. I think it's a fantastic idea, and as soon as I get my head wrapped around how we're going to code that in, it's going to be done. Next week, hopefully, we aren't quite done with it, but next week I will be demonstrating the Mode 4 sprite animation. In other words, we'll do the same kind of animation I did last week, but you're going to be able to do it with one line of basic code. You'll be able to specify the frames, the start frame, the finish frame, and the delay, the speed that the frame should flip, as a one-line command. And when you display the sprite, it will animate in that position where it's going to be, and you'll be able to do that really, really simple and basic. I'm having a little trouble on the implementation of that in my side of the code. Carl sent me a really wonderful working demo 2 or 3 days ago, so I will get that with his assistance. I'll get that implemented, and hopefully I'll be showing that to you here this next week. But this project is coming right along. By the way, I want to put a big thanks out to all of the supporters on Propeller Powered forums. I asked all of you to step up to the plate, put a pre-order in, have a little faith, and you put a pre-order in, so that we could raise the funds necessary to not just order the pre-order, but to also have the funds to kick off the project as a whole. All of you stepped up. I mean, the entire pre-order is sold. Thank you. This is going to give us the ability to not just fill your orders as soon as everything arrives here within a week or two, but also kick off this project officially. So big thank you to all of you out there on the Propeller Powered forums. We appreciate you guys. You have no idea how much for helping launch this project. So this is all I've got for this week. See you guys next week, and I'll see you on the forums.